Although it may seem a little mundane, packing up boxes and, being on the assembly line, what we're really doing is putting in hundreds of hours into the people on the streets who need us. And they need us in a way that none of us will ever understand. And for the last couple of weeks, I've been on the grounds every day. They know we're coming today, they know we're coming tomorrow, and they look forward to seeing us because we're the one little bit of hope that they have to have a warm meal in their bellies and to know that somebody in the world is actually caring for them and loving them. And without people like you showing up today to give your time, your energy, and your spirit, none of this is possible. So I want to really say thank you to everyone, because what we're doing here today may seem small, but it's actually really, really big, and it's impacting hundreds and thousands of families. So I thank you, I love you, I look forward to doing this with you today.
My name is Serena Buffalino, and I am the founder of Help Heal Humanity. Help Heal Humanity is a charity that is focused on unconditional giving, love, and support to some of the most vulnerable communities in the world.
Life is so fragile, and we're constantly reminded just how fragile life can be, especially when we or a loved one is told we have cancer. Cancer survivor myself, I can tell you, we still feel very alone in this journey.
There's a study that's been shown that patients who are socially isolated have a worse prognosis, have a worse outcome than patients who are socially interconnected.
Buddies for Life is a non-profit cancer support group for those whose life has been impacted by cancer. We'll match you with the perfect buddy. Humor, hope, heart, and hugs.
Humor, hope, heart, hugs, and a whole lot of love.
We're offering you a free membership, so please sign up today. Share this with your friends and family, and support this community in every way you can. No one should face cancer alone.
I am a Chemo Buddy for Life.
We are a Buddies Network.
No one does cancer alone.
Be a buddy.
And we are all here for you as a community of love.
We are Chemo Buddies for Life.
And if you've heard 3 words, you have cancer, for yourself or someone else, you belong with us at Chemo Buddies for Life.
Healing through connections.
There you are.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Wonderful, wonderful. You know how we always say we love when technology works, and we love it still, even if it has
When it's not quite so, yes.
Because I don't want to put down the universe to make it worse. But yeah, that's what kind of was this morning. But that's okay because we're still here. I still hear your lovely voice, and we're on screen.
We are on screen. Exactly. So what's new with you?
Well, before we start, I want to welcome everybody to the Time to Shine Happiness Show with the
Yes.
Yay! And what's happening with me? You know, it was nice. I had a nice weekend. I had a really nice weekend where I didn't really do too much work. And you know, for me,
now isn't that a good thing?
For me, that's a really good thing because you know me, Barbara. I'm always like, you know. And
Right.
this time I just said, you know, I'm just gonna just sit back and kind of just relax, and it's a good feeling because it's like, wow, I could feel it now. I mean, I could really feel the relaxation, the self-care that I did, and now you know it really. I'm just saying it really made a big difference, which I didn't even realize until after the fact. So it was
exactly.
Yes.
It's that rejuvenating. And the thing is, so often, like I remember, my dad was an electrician, and my mom would say, you know what, you have, everybody else has great electricity in their outlets and all that stuff, and I'm always the last one. And it's always the truth. We tend to take care of ourselves last.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, and we are now going into the summer. This is the time to really take stock of where you are.
Yes.
Usually the weather is nicer. You get more opportunities. You meet more of your neighbors. All of those things go into self-care.
Yes.
Because during the winter, when it's cold, we tend to not go outside. I know I do. I don't want to. You know, although right now, a friend of mine lives in Tulsa, and they've had no electricity since Saturday.
Oh my God!
I guess there was a big storm that went through. 11,000 people near where they live are without power. Luckily, two of their sons live just on the other side of the power grid failure. So they're staying with them right now. So luckily they have that. But one of their neighbors, she's sleeping in her car because it's cooler in her car overnight than it is in her apartment overnight.
Oh my God! In the car? Oh my God!
So you never know what is happening in other people's lives. The thing is, though, if we don't have within ourselves things to help them, to pray for them, or to offer them assistance, how can we possibly help them if we don't have it within ourselves? And that's what self-care is all about.
Yeah.
Because you can give to someone else what you don't have for yourself.
Or like you said, Ed, if you don't know what's going on with that person. So
or if that's
exactly the communication and the openness and doing the check-ins need to come into play. Yeah.
Exactly. And so it's just been it's like, oh wow. And like Texas has been my girlfriend Carol, they've been underwater.
Oh,
they had a flood or a tornado and a baseball size hail.
Oh my God.
So it's like, oh my stars, so many things going on around the country that are weird.
I mean, you kind of say, you know what, this is global warming. This is a lot of stuff that people are like, back and forth about. It's real. I keep telling people they really need to see what's going on because it is happening. And we have to be cautious.
They're happening.
Yeah.
So, but one of the things, our guest today is Tina Renee. Met her a couple of months ago. Anyways, but in her bio, it says that she is a serial entrepreneur and a philanthropist, and uses her platform as a podcast host. And so it was like, I said, you know what? Barb and I are podcast hosts. What's good about being a podcast host? And it's been 3 years. Let's brag. 3 years now we have been on the air. And yet I look back to when we first started. And back then, did we know that we were still going to be here 3 years? I think we hoped, but did we know? No. But all we knew was that we wanted to make a difference with what our content was, to help people to live the happy, healthy, debt-free, abundant lives that we, both of you and I, feel that people deserve to have that. The thing, so it's, you know me, it sparked a little, said, well, gee, what are the statistics about podcasts? Wait till you hear this. In 2019, there was about 62 million podcast listeners. In 2021, it was up to 88 million listeners. It's now over 100 million listeners. And why are people listening to podcasts? Because they want to learn things. They can do it. They can do it while they are doing other things. And one of the statistics too is 54% of podcast listeners will buy a product or a service based on what is recommended by the podcast host. And that's the thing. That's what one of the things is, so much of why we do what we do, because we want to have people who trust us, that connect with us, that we can uplift them. Like the times that we come on and we laugh and our joke of the day and those kinds of things. But because we want people to enjoy their lives, and that's part of the being happy. Yes. And it's so nice to see that some of the things that we are doing are actually what people are looking for and wanting.
Yes, definitely. And I love what you said about, basically, people buy products, a lot of products and services because of what they hear on podcasts. So that I always tell you and everybody else, if you want to be a sponsor on a podcast,
exactly,
if you want your product talked about, if you want to come on and talk about it, do that, because like Barbara just said, there's a lot of people that are listening and they might buy the product. That gives you that credibility and that visibility.
Exactly. And that's what you and I talk about so often. If you have a message, or if you have like one of the things that we talk about too is that, like if you've had an issue, if you have survived something, then somebody else needs to hear about it.
Yes.
I do not share with people to come when your wound is still a wound. Do not do that. That is not a good thing. But once your wound has scabbed over, number one, don't pick at the scab, but tell people that the scab is there, because then you can help somebody else who is still in the wounded stage.
Yes.
There are 7 billion people out here on the planet. Chances are somebody is going through what you've been through, or they're going to be going through it next week or next year, and they can remember, oh, gee, the BBs talked about that on a show, and they can come back and look What did they say about it? Because one of the things too is that 30, this is another one of the statistics. Over 30% of people say that listening to a podcast can help them understand themselves, cultures, or a different perspective.
Yes.
One of our favorite sayings, and you and I talk about it all the time, is you don't know what you don't know until someone else tells you something that you don't know.
So true.
So true.
Yes. You learn so much from people's stories, experience, and especially when, like you said, they've been through that valley, and how they kind of got out of that valley, or still how to work in dealing with that valley. And then when you come on and say that, so many people need to hear. That's why I always tell people, please tell your stories when you feel comfortable telling it, because you are saving lives. I mean, I have seen, from what you talk about, Barbara, to what I talk about, I have seen people hit that heart, and they be like, wow, you told me, now you gave me hope. You gave me hope. And that's what a lot of people need. They need that hope in their lives.
Right. To have that moment of awareness that, oh, maybe I don't have to suffer the way I am right now. Maybe there is a way out there. And if it can give them one little spark of, oh, I could do this. Well, gee, the BB said that this is what they did. I wonder if that would work for me. And when they can I call it getting curious. Oh, I wonder if that could work with me. And when you see something that lands on people, it's like, or we get a comment, wow, I can use this. And we've had those comments that, wow, this was great. Oh, I can use this. That is what is so impactful. And so it's so nice to hear other podcast hosts that feel the same way. Because some podcasters, hey, you know what? Let's be honest, they're out there for just to make money.
Yeah.
And
their reasons. Yeah.
Everybody has their own reasons. The thing is though, for me, I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. I want to impact the world for good, to be a force for good. So chances are we tend to bring to us the people who also feel that way.
Yes. And I really believe when you have those type of missions and the vision that you have for your podcast or TV streaming or whatever you're doing out there in the media, it really is a deeper content, and it lasts to me longer, because you do have you just have that love, that heart of gold, I would say, for people. You're not even thinking about yourself anymore. Instead, you're thinking about the people that you can inspire, that can help them and move them into whatever they're doing in their lanes. So, I mean, you and I do that. We always believe in that. And I love, because just like going back to Queen Tina, that's going to be coming on. That's her. She has that heart of gold. As I was reading her bio, and I was like, see, this is what I'm talking about. That's why I see, what she's even doing with her music career, how she took that and made a podcast, and now, just helping the world.
Exactly. And because I truly believe that people I know that sometimes I will listen to a podcast episode of, whatever. There are many. I listen to several different podcasts. Some of them are business, some of them are fun, some of them are I listen to them just because it's a friend, kind of one of those things. But you know what? I've always felt that if I glean just even one little nugget that lands on me personally, that it was well worth listening to that podcast. And then chances are, in fact, yesterday I was talking to my branding guy, and we were a little bit talking about this, and I said, you know what, my mission, my purpose is to serve God, to learn, and then to teach others what I learn. He said, yeah, I've heard you say that, but that's part of my purpose. And so the thing is, so I was telling him about a new tool He went, oh, really? Oh, I could use that, because I learned it the hour before. And that's what people talk about, the things that interest them, or they talk about the things that they learn. And at least the people that I know do that. Some people don't, and I can go back and say, well, why didn't you tell us? Well, I thought you knew. Don't assume that people know.
Yeah.
I share with people, and if somebody says to me, oh yeah, I use that. Oh, great. But then we'll talk about what we like about. If you're having trouble starting a conversation with somebody that might possibly help you in your business, find a way to start a conversation with them. And one of the things that I have really found for myself is that I lead with a statistic. So one of these statistics that I've just shared with you, if this applies to something that you do, you can use them. Great, do it. Because one of the statistics now that I share with people is that, I'm in the wellness space. So if I'm just talking to anybody, we were talking about business and stuff, it's like, oh yeah, no, I've been in the wellness space for 30 years. And one of the things that I really realize for myself now is that 1 out of 6 people right now have some kind of memory loss or brain fog. That's a statistic. Okay. And if they have that, they're going to pop up and say, well, gee, let's talk about that. If they don't, well, then it just doesn't go anywhere. But it's a statistic that you can use. And I have now gotten several people that are now doing it also, because it's an easy way to bring up what you do. Know a statistic about what you do. So yesterday, Carol and I, we were talking to one of our new brand partners, and that's exactly what he said. He said, how do I start conversations with people? And I said to him, I looked at him and I said, well, find out a statistic about what you do. And he's a pickleball player. Find out, he said, find out, like one of a suggestion that I gave him, I said, find out what the injury rate is of people who are a little bit older. What's the injury rate of people getting injured playing pickleball who have never played before? And things that you can do to prevent it. He said, oh, that's a really good idea, Barb. And it's like, so now he's going to be able to start a conversation. So find out a statistic about something that you do that impacts you and your business and the people who you want to attract. Like you can talk about visibility. You know that if people don't get visible, if people don't know you're there, it doesn't matter how good of a program you have. If nobody knows you're there, you're not going to do anything with it.
And that's so simple. So you made it so simple. Sometimes people put a big paragraph about it. I'm like, no, if they don't know where you are, who you are, then you're not going to be credible. You're not going to be visible. And, that's it. So you need to be out there. But I think just to add to what you're saying, and we want to bring on the Queen, Tina, is that also find out what that person likes and their interests, and then maybe get the statistics on that.
Exactly.
They didn't even know about what they're doing in their lane. So now they're saying, wow, she took the time out or he took the time out to really find out what I do. And what I like to do and what I'm interested in, and found some information that I didn't probably even know that's going to help me in my own lane.
Right. And if they do know it, it just sparks a conversation.
It sparks another conversation. They're going to talk about what they like to do. So, that's automatic. Yeah.
It sparks a conversation.
Yeah.
And it can be so often that's what happens with people when they're trying to, especially when they're new. And they're trying to promote their business. I mean, we all need to promote our businesses. You and I happen to be blessed that we have this podcast and people know that I'm in the wellness space. And if they need, wellness, come to me. If they need visibility, come to you. That's an awesome thing. But when you're just starting out and just getting into your lane, it has been a great way. And I've had several, it's like, that would work. Mm-hmm. So find a little something, and that's the power of having a podcast. So if that tip was for you today, take it and run with it. Find out a statistic.
Well, with that, we're going to find out some more information from our wonderful guest today. We'll give her visibility, Ms. Tina Renee. And before that, we're going to go to our sponsor, and then we'll be right back with our guests. I'm excited.
When you do nothing, nothing happens. Best time to take action is now. This is the time to work on you and your business. So I've created a group, an online academy for professionals and entrepreneurs. Power Partners will help you to start helping yourself.
Helps me change my life and my business.
Not a Toastmasters, it's not a BNI, it's not any of these, but it is. So it's all this stuff in one place.
Get the results that you deserve right now. So what are you waiting for? Let's make it happen. See you in Power Partners.
Ta-da!
Hi, ladies.
Hello. Okay, I have to tell you how I met Tina.
Okay.
Mary, a friend of mine, Mary, who lives in my small town, did an event. Well, Tina was there, and we just had a conversation, and she interviewed me for her do a blurb for her podcast, and I said, well, I need to have you on mine. And so
Yes.
So, yeah. So we just had a great
just to let you know, before I even start, you probably heard already, I call all the lady queens. So it's Queen Tina.
Hi, you already know it. I'm the same way. Like, we all wear our crowns, and Mary's actually my stepmother.
Okay.
And yep. So she brought me down, and I said, "Oh, I just love Miss Barbara. OMG. Everything about her energy was amazing." And I was like, okay, the connection just has to start today and right now.
So yeah, that's Barbara. That's why we've been together for 3 years.
And it was a great event. I mean, I met so many wonderful people, and that's the thing too, is getting yourself out there. Mary asked me, would you want to come to this event? I went, yeah, absolutely. Get yourself out there. And I met several great people. Tina Renee being one of them.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, see, I'm excited because when I read, because I'm new in the little crowd here, but I want to know, because I was reading Queen Tina's bio, and, I love music. We all, the music part. So when she was talking about her background, I mean, it's powerful. And then what she's doing with her podcast, I was like, the first thing I said, and I know I'm like a little kid now, can she sing just a little bit through before?
I would definitely give you guys some a little bit of singing. I would say, Barbara, both of you guys, this weekend I had an amazing showdown in Beloit, and then came back to Rockford, and then yesterday. So as you can hear, my voice is kind of like gone. So I don't want you to be mad at me and I not deliver what I say I'm going to deliver. But I do want to say the next event that I want to welcome both of you guys there with tickets to come. And I don't have a problem with sending you a little snippet so you guys can hear me.
That would be wonderful.
I'll take it.
Yes.
I'll take it. Oh, yeah. but Queen Tina and I always do this. Barbara always knows me. I always like to know the backstory of people. How you got to being this celebrity right now. So what got you to this point, Queen?
Well, I started singing like most singers in the church. Started at the young age of 5. My mom always told me it actually started in her belly. She would put headphones on her stomach and would play the music. So I always tell everybody I started music at birth. I found my voice at 5 in church, and the rest is history. Now, mind you, I was singing at different places, churches, events at school, and I took a little turn when I kind of stepped away from music, and I said, what else is out there? And I stepped back and started dancing. Now, mind you, dancing is not my forte, but I thought I could, okay? The world said that is not for you. But then I found my voice again when I went off to college. And it's just truly been an opportunity for me to express who I am unapologetically. And so singing, I've sung in 30 states. I've sung with so many people, 2 countries. I've done that truly because I truly believe that when you're singing, it's an opportunity to connect with someone. And the song choices I choose is truly an opportunity for me to say, listen, whatever you're going through right now, this is only temporary. You live, you be free. dance your heart out, whatever the case may be. It's an opportunity for folks to smile no matter what race, creed, or whatever the case may be. And so I use singing as an outlet to truly connect because music is the universal language of love and it has no boundaries and it's timeless, right? And so when it comes down to me creating, I always tell everybody podcasts is something that is taped. A lot of the times live, you edited it and flip. I actually helped start 105.7 out of Freeport, which is a radio station, and then I came to Rockford and started my Soulful Discussions again, relaunched it after not being able to walk for 2 years. So I actually got injured, and I said to myself, our community needs an outlet to express what they do, how to get it, the product, and number two, how do you keep on getting it? Like, how do you connect those dots? So I truly believe in three things: power, connection, change. Power is the power of the mind. Whatever you're thinking, all you have to do is put it in action, right? Connection. It's the connections that we make here. And that's shown right through Barb. Met her at an event. Guess what? I can make sure that I connect her with my resources. She connects me with mine because your network is your net worth. The change that you want to see is the relevance of the world. What are we needing right now? And the fact that we're doing these podcasts, we can focus on three things. Real. What's real? What's really happening in our community? Is it something that's relatable? Because I love what you guys said earlier. I'm saying amen. If I've been through that, I know there's somebody else that's been out there that's going through the same dang on thing. The question is, what did I do during this time that's going to help you? And is it relevant? What is truly the real problem in life? Is it because of the fact that the president or whoever the case may be is making these laws? Or is it we have to get deep down into the city officials who we elect from here? What about our households? What do we need to change about our households so that the outcome is better? And so we get down to the nitty gritty in regards to that. But ultimately, it's all about the connections. I want to make sure that folks that's in our community know what's going on, whether it's through a nonprofit event, if it's a small business, large business. The community needs to know, and our podcasts and our radio stations is what's connecting them to that.
Ooh. Yeah. Mic drop.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. You know when I was listening to you, Queen, and I was just thinking the whole time when you were speaking is that you're a voice for others through your podcast. Because you bring them on your show or you're teaching something out of your own voice to them so they can learn, grow, heal, all that what you're talking about, the connection, the change. And I believe the power that you said, I love those three that you said, the power is each person's gift that they have for the world. And you bring it on in what you do. And then that brings the connection. And then that brings the change.
Yeah. We always talk about how do we get to where we want to do as far as unity, equity, justice. We have to realize all of us are different and we're meant to be different. I am so country. I tell everybody when they see me, they say, oh, this woman that took her shoes off, honey, and walking barefooted. I tell them all the time, this is me. This is who I am. I'm meant to be Tina Renee. Barb, you're meant to be you. And that's what makes us beautiful and that's the small intricate parts of life. And what makes us relatable to people is the things that makes us different. And it's okay to be different. And it's okay to be you.
Right. Yeah. I think it's our uniqueness. And that so often, like our last show, we talked about self-perception. And we talked about so often what we think has flaws. That's really what makes us unique and what draws people to us. Yes. Because we're not the only, because it lets them know that they're not the only one who might feel the same way that we do. And that's how you attract your tribe.
Yeah, I totally agree, Barb. I've always worked in a corporate setting. And of course, I have blonde hair. I don't fit the narrative of what that should be. I walk in the door and I say, good morning, sunshine. How y'all doing? Right? Versus saying, how are you doing? That countryside of me will always be me. Or that good morning sunshine is something that some people look forward to. And I was reprimanded at one point in time by my leader by saying, "You talk with so much country accent, you will never go far." And I said, "Hold on, let me tell you something. That country accent, that country accent, and that country twang is what gets you in the door. That smile and ability to do the job with the action is what's going to keep me in the door. So love me for who I am."
Yeah.
Right.
And if they don't, oh well, it's not meant to be. That's what I
say. It's about being authentically you.
Yeah.
You can fake it for so long. That's the thing about it is you go to places and you want to fake who you are. I am who I am. And this is it. Meet me where I am, and I can meet you where you are, because guess what? Eventually it's going to come out. Eventually people are going to see who you are. And as long as you're consistent with who you are, that's a good thing, because they eventually learn that that's just how Tina Renee is.
That they can trust who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Look at how many, let's say a few famous people who gave out one version of themselves, and then it came out years later, ooh, maybe they weren't quite so what they said they were. They've now lost all their credibility. And then and then they really have to eat humble pie and go, gee, I am so sorry that this happened. And and it's like, I don't want to ever go through something like that. It's like, hey, this is it. With all my flaws, I mean, the fact that right now I have a toothache and I'm like, oh well, hey, there are certain things that Barb and I have talked about. It's like, I can't believe we're talking about this and we're doing it on a podcast. But you know what? Things happen.
It's real. Real.
Life happens to us.
Barb, well, I always say Barb, my two B's, my best friends already, okay? The thing about it is we have this preconceived notion that even us being on a podcast that we're perfect.
Right.
No, I've been broke. I've been without jobs. I've, experienced headache. I've experienced loss. I've experienced grief. Everything that one person has been through, I've been there. I've been mad. I didn't curse somebody out. Like, come on. Like, I am who I am. And I think the reason why celebrities and everyone else truly thinks that everybody's perfect is because the picture that we paint. So the picture that I paint on my podcast is that I'm just like you. I put my pants on just like you. I've become broke sometimes just like you. I struggle with paying bills sometimes just like you. The difference is truly is that I'm in front of everybody, so everybody sees that I'm perfect now. I'm in the same, walking and wearing the same shoes. And only other difference is that I truly believe in the Most High, and no matter the situation that I'm in, I know that there's a turning point, and it's only temporary. So I can speak from that aspect because I knew what it felt like to die, and I also knew what it felt like to live.
Right. Yes. Right. Yeah. And that everything happens for a reason.
Have to.
And the people that we meet, they come into our lives sometimes for a reason, for a season or a season.
Yes.
And then they're gone. But you learned from them on the way that they were here when they were here.
Absolutely.
And that's okay. And that's okay.
And the other thing I want to add, just what Barbara said, when you people for a season, and what you were saying, Tina, about connection and understanding the uniqueness of people. I want to just put out there to the audience, ask those questions to individuals so you can understand who they are.
Right.
I think that's what happens if you don't understand and you don't ask the questions. That's where you really lose out on understanding that individual, why their uniqueness is so gifted. Just like Tina about, you're the way, you're the Southern lady. You like you said, you got that twang about you and everything. Now somebody might be like, oh, just like you said in corporate, oh, she shouldn't do that. You know what? If you get to know who Queen Tina is and what she does, she knows what she's talking about. Then you have a different thing to say, oh, okay. And don't be scared because somebody's different. And that's where a lot of people really cut themselves really badly for not getting to know a person because they're scared or they're fearful or they just don't know because of the difference in the person. And we need to ask more questions with those connections, with those networking with people, so you don't miss out on like those jewels that are out there, like Tina and other Barbara and everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. You know what I always say is building those relationships. So Barbara J, first time meeting you, I'm gonna remember something about you. I'm like, oh, the first thing I'm gonna notice is that smile. Oh, I remember Barbara J smile, honey. She was smiling from ear to ear, right?
Yeah.
In listening, I always tell people it's always listening with intent versus listening to respond. And so as I'm listening to you, I'm understanding and I'm truly learning something from you. My intentions and my attention is truly on listening to you because you have to grow. Like, what if you to grow, you have to learn something, and we can all learn something from each other. So listening with intent is huge. I'm like, I heard what you said. You may not have said it, but I heard what you said, and once we truly listen, we realize that we all want the same thing.
Yeah.
And what's that? That's to live a healthy lifestyle, to be
Right.
happy,
To be happy.
to make money doing what you love,
Right.
and truly do the one thing, that's to give back,
Yeah.
right?
Make an
To give
impact.
back.
Make an impact
And
in the world.
because it feels good. It's not always the monetary aspect. What I do, I don't get paid for it half the time.
Right. You mean
I do this because I love it. And I can truly, it may be 5 years or 2 years down the road or 6 months down the road. I can look at a person and say, I made an impact on their life. Look at what they're doing. I helped them start their business. Look at what they're doing. They were on my show and they said they wanted to, but I put a deadline on it and now they're doing this. And, and they said they wanted to start this. Okay. My question is, when you going to start? Today? Oh, okay. Today starts today. Those are the impacts that for me is so meaningful that I can look back and say, I help with that without saying I help with that.
I totally agree, Queen Tina. I love when people can come back to me, even if it's just one person, one or two people to say, Barbara, what you said, or that little comment or whatever. It could be just something really small, but it made a big impact in their life. That just takes my heart. This just gets my heart right there. Because thank you. That's all I want to do. I really just want to make sure that I helped you move somewhere in your life, just something I said or maybe did or whatever that helped you say, you know what, that put a smile on my face, or that moved the needle in my goals, or whatever it might be. Yeah.
That's like one time my husband and I, when he was still alive, we helped. Literally, there was a congregation about half an hour from us that they were doing a lot of the building of their church themselves. So David and I said, okay, then we're going to take a mission trip half an hour away, but we helped to physically build the church. David did drywall. I did cleanup, all sorts of things. And every time I go by that church, it's like, ooh, I helped build that church. And it's not that you're bragging. It's just that it just touches your heart. That says, I helped to build that church. It's called Church on the Rock. And it's like, I helped to build that church. So when you can get that much satisfaction about something that you have done, if you don't ever step out of your comfort zone and do something, then you're never going to have that feeling. And it's that feeling that moves you forward to help do the next thing.
Yep. I love what you said, Barb. I very seldom share these things, but I want to it would be remiss if I didn't. Every city that I've lived in or state, my goal was always to make an impact on the community. It was 3 things I've always focused on. Kids, that's my number one, because that's where you truly see the difference. And they truly, truly, truly appreciate it. And then, their hearts are pure. Number 2, hunger is what I've always fought for in homelessness. And so my first journey started down in Mississippi. I would pass out hamburgers and things that nature, go out and helping centers. And I would never do pictures, or I would never do videos or anything like that. Then went to Arkansas. Shout out to Broadway Joe down there and the different community centers down there. We would feed thousands of individuals. Came here to Rockford, worked down in DeKalb. Goodfellas down there. We gave for 3 years that I was there. I love them. Kids Christmas. That was an average about 900 kids each, or 900 individuals each year. And then muscular dystrophy is a huge, big component of that. But either way, the reason why I was saying those things is because I never wanted the world to know that that's what I did, because my intentions was always pure. Now, mind you, the reason why I'm saying is because a lot of times you don't get the recognition right off the bat. And I just want to shout out to Rockford and Beloit. This weekend, I was honored after being here for 8 years for 2 awards. But it just goes to show you sometimes you don't have to say anything. Your advocates are the folks that you've made an impact on that will truly, truly, truly speak for you.
See, now I'm going to cry. I'm trying to hold back tears now. Tina, don't do this to me. Oh, I love it. I see. And you made a huge impact, lady. That is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That is amazing. I congratulate you for that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Barbara E, you about to cry too. Don't you be able to cry. We're gonna be some crying sisters over here today.
It touches my heart. It touches my heart when we can use our platform to make a difference. What doesn't matter what, and the thing is, so often I get people that say, well, how do you do that? Well, just start. I started this, like doing podcast type things, but I started doing little 50-second videos on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Just start. Take one small step, because you never know where that one step is going to lead you or who it's going to lead you to. Because Barbara J, I'm going to start calling you that now. But thank you, Tina. That's a cool thing. So Barbara J, she saw one of my videos on Instagram.
That's how it works.
And she said, well, gee, and then after several, I don't know how long it was, she said, gee, Barb, maybe I'm thinking of starting a network, and would you like to do a happiness show? And we were the Happiness 101 show when we started. And we didn't have the BBs, but from our guests, that's where we evolved. We became the BBs. Well, Barbara started that, the BBs. And because that's what people started calling us, with the BBs.
Mm-hmm.
And you become part of your audience.
Yes.
And that is an awesome thing. And they become part of you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So just start by take one small step to move forward what you want to do. Because you're going to find the people who want to do it with you.
I love it because it's so funny. Were you reading my post this morning? I wrote this morning, I said, in life, we're so worried about taking leaps and bounds. Mm-hmm. Let's start with baby steps. Okay, I want to start a business. Let me go ahead and get my EIN number. No, how about this? Let me do my research first. Right. Today, I'm going to look at audience. I'm going to look up my competitors. That's day one. You can take a break. Day two, I'm going to look up, how do I start the business? Day three, I'm going to do this. Like, start somewhere. I met Senio Puri here in Rockford for First Midwest Group, millionaire, developer. He said, I came to Rockford with only $300 in a vision.
Yes.
You know how many people start with $300 in a vision? And this man is now one of the largest developers here in Rockford. If that's not inspiring, all you have to do is start and truly stay consistent. Stay consistent with what it is that you want to do. Your plan may change, but your goal can stay the same.
Right.
Start. So I'm going to challenge the folks that's out there that's listening. Start today. Don't make an excuse as to why you got this going on. Baby steps.
Right. Do one thing. I started with a 50-second. And you wouldn't believe I've got a couple of people that said, oh, Barb, how did you start? Well, I started doing 50-second. So call me. And so I had one of the gals, she said, well, what should I talk about? I said, well, what do you like to do? Mm-hmm. And she said, that's easy. Well, yeah, I like to do this. Okay, then make a video about that. She said, really? I said, yeah, it's that easy. What do you like to do? What is something that you're passionate about? With me, I have no problem telling people that I'm on a mission to make happiness the norm rather than the exception. What that started, though, how that started, though, was a friend of mine asked me, well, Barb, what do you really want? And I said, and I looked at her and I said, you know what, Nicole, I just want people to be happy. And she looked straight at me. She said, then that's your thing. And from that moment, everything that I have done stemmed from that one conversation. That one statement that made my soul sing. I just want people to be happy. Find that thing.
I love when you say find that what makes your soul sing. I mean, every time you say that, bro, that's just it's so awesome to me. And that's what we need to do. Everybody needs to do is what makes your soul sing, what gets you up every morning where, like you said, Queen Tina, where you like, you don't get, I mean, not saying don't get paid, but
I get paid now.
Yeah, I don't want people to say that, just don't get paid. No, we want to get paid. But it's mostly when you do something within your purpose of what you love, within your soul and heart, it gets to the point where you do it without even thinking about it. The money and stuff gonna come. When you do something for people, and when you help people and stuff, it's automatically going to come to you because now you're putting yourself and saying, you know what, I'm putting myself out there for others so they can feel the love, so they can get the help, so they can hear and move forward and get hope, like I said earlier. So yeah, I mean, we all do in our lanes, and if you love to do it, everything else is just amazing. Yeah.
That's like one of the things. Zig Ziglar. I love his famous statement. When you help enough people get what they want, you will automatically get what you want.
Yeah.
Because
go ahead.
The ripple effect.
It is, Barb. One of the things that I truly realize is that the folks that's at the top, the millionaires, the folks with the money, it's not about the money. It's truly about the connections. How do you help develop other individuals to be their best you, best selves, right? So that's huge. Just understanding it. And then one of the things that you said, Barbara J, is passion. Yeah. When your passion is there and people can feel that, this show right here may not be where we're going to make the money. It's that connection, the next one and that next one, or even 10 down folks that I meet down the road that's going to say, you know what, Tina, I need you to come and host the show because I saw you on BB's show and honey, you killed that, right? And I just feel like you are great at this. And so when you speak with passion about the craft that you're in and you're consistent about it, people are going to hire you because they have no choice because they can feel it from the moment you enter the room and when you leave because they know you're serious about your craft.
Yes, definitely. Well, you know what? We got to bring her back, right, Barbara? We got to bring
exactly.
I'll just put it out there, okay? No sugarcoating. She has to come back. She's family.
I will. Yes. You already know it.
And we'll invite Tina to the panel.
Oh yeah, we also see Tina. We have different other shows and everything else, so we're inviting you to the whole family. So yeah, we have.
I am there. Yeah. I am there. Anything that you have going on, same thing, and vice versa. Of course, we're looking to do a live panel here in Rockford, and so, ladies, the invite is there once I get everything, all the details in order. But definitely. Network. You got to network. These are my soul sisters now. We are stuck like Chuck. Y'all can't go nowhere.
Soul sisters. I love it. Well, Tina, thank you so much, lady. Barbara, you did it again. You always bring the best of the best. I love it. So, Tina, please, again, you're always welcome back, to talk, have conversations, do what you do when you get your voice, I know, like you see, you did a lot of singing this weekend. You see what I'm about to do, right? And then next time we can hear that wonderful, beautiful voice that's going to come out of your mouth.
And when you get your event up, hey, come on and we'll promote the event. Absolutely.
Yeah, we'll talk about that too, but I want to hear that voice. And she said she's going to sing on the sing. So with that, Barbara, as you always say, Barbara, what's your motto?
Yep.
My motto.
Yeah, let's make happiness the norm. Let's do it. When we all step up together, we can all live happy, healthy, debt-free, abundant lives, because that's what God has for us. And so, yes, let's just do it, and let's do it together.
And let's do it every Tuesday too. And we come on Time to Shine Show every Tuesday at 9 o'clock. What Central Time? Eastern Time. And any other time zones, please look it up. With that said, love you, and to see you next Tuesday.
Thank you, ladies. I appreciate you so much for all that you did to put this together. And you guys, folks that's out there, stay tuned. I love the BBs, and y'all gonna love them too. Love y'all.
Okay. Bye.